Okay, good morning everyone. Can everyone see the screen and hear me? Okay, so no one has done homework. Okay, so now let's give a few moments and we'll get started. Okay, so now we'll go through defects. So since no one has done homework, so I don't know. Okay, at least few people should have done, right? I mean, there's like 10 people and not even one. Okay, so let's go to the defect section. So here, we'll open defects. Okay, once you executed the test case, okay, and you see, like most of the time you have to find bug. Okay, most of the time you have to find some or other issue. Okay, so that's how you need to work. Okay, but not necessary. It's not really required to. You have to always open bug. My point is like you have to make sure that they hire you because you want to show them the application is broken. That's what you want to make sure. Okay, so if you have executed the test case, let's say it got failed, okay, and if it gets failed, you want to open defect. Okay, so let's see here how to open defect. So go to the defects module. Okay, I hope everyone is clear on this. Okay, the first thing is, we have done this yesterday, right? You have to locate which project you're working on. Okay, there's so many other projects going on here. So this is the correct project we are working. And how do you know this? You have to coordinate with the lead. If you're working with the lead, that's fine. Sometimes you also might work with a BA, business analyst, so they might help you out. Okay, they might help you out saying, okay, so this is a project you're working on. This is okay, and most of the time, only access you will be having for these many projects. You will not work on something which you don't have access. Okay. That being said, if there is no access, you have to request. Okay. So if there is no access, you have to, request and get access for that. But here, we already have this, so no issues. So once you go to a particular project, go to the user stories. Which are the user stories? So these are the user stories. And if you see there's so many user stories, right? So you have, again, you need to coordinate with your lead, check with them, or any business analyst guy or developer, check with them, the person who are working with, who you are working on. You have to check with them and see which user story does your daily projects, you belong to. So once you figure it out, the user story, here is the thing, you have to document all your test cases here. Okay, once you go there, we discuss about the test cases. Let's go to defects. So let's go in detail about defects. Okay, here. Okay, so let's say I found a bug. Now let's open this. Just keep this thing beforehand so that I don't have issues with this. Okay. So what the bug is, we know the shipping and handling fee. Okay. Is showing as $5. So just an example, taking this as a defect, and just screenshot. No, screenshot is very important. Okay, and you want to highlight that bug. Let's say shipping and handling. Okay, so this is what I want to highlight it, and just use whatever the information. If you don't want to use all of them, I mean you can paste it just like that. No big deal, but just we just using this. It's clean. It looks clean, so. Okay, so let's use this defect. Okay, right. So that is the one I took the screenshot. Now here, let's go to here. So new defect. So here's the thing. When you are using this title, okay, so homework. So homework. See, here's the thing. I'm not able to see your test cases. Okay. So that's the thing. I gave you that user story, which was the user story that was 182, and there is no test cases here. So I don't know where you done. Okay. So that's the thing. So as I told you in the instructions to everyone, okay. So let's see. Let's go back to our instructions here. All the test cases results should be in my user story, right? I don't think anyone has even read that. Okay. So this is the first thing you need to follow, and I don't see that here. Okay. So there is no test case. Okay. So and okay. So that's what wanted to make sure. So no one, so technically, you didn't do any homework. You might have done some other place, right? I see that you have done somewhere else. But if you're not doing in the correct place, that's no good. Okay, you have to be, if you have done that correct, move it to that particular location, okay? Because nobody will be doing that. It's your responsibility to work on right project and the right user story in the right place. Now, no one will be correcting that thing, okay? It's your responsibility because your boss will be checking right here, not somewhere else, okay? Okay, so shipping and handling fee. So let me go back to again if there is another user story, let's see here. But let's go back to here. And effect is this is the naming convention you have to follow. Okay, I'm doing this. Let's see here. Okay, so okay, so this is the naming convention you have to follow. Okay, whenever you're opening a title, not just defect, even the test case. Okay, you have to make sure which fee I'm sorry, the title of the defect, let's say shipping and handling fee. Okay, and what project? Okay, some information about the project. Here, this is not required. Okay, this is here. I'm using it because you have only one user ID. Okay, so that's the reason I'm using this. And when you're doing homework, make sure you put your name. Okay, not my name. People use the same thing, use the same copy and paste. So you don't have to see. Exactly. If you see, all these are documented. See, here's the thing. All this is documented in user story 182, right? I've given that to everyone. In the email I'll send, like, right? You have to use 18. See here, 182. Okay. So this is what we are working on. This was the user story for this February. Okay. So you have supposed to do in this 182, not anywhere else. Okay. So if by mistake, if you have created, okay, you have to move your test case to this location. Okay, you know what? We'll go back to that. Okay, we'll just finish this and we'll see how we can, let's go back to that. If not, I'll move that test case to this particular user ID, to the particular user story. Okay, so, but make sure you always have to document your particular project, not someone else's project. You cannot create user story for yourself. You're not a business analyst. You're a tester. You don't create user stories. You have to. I see that you have created a user story, but you don't create, because tester's job is to write test cases and execute, but not to create user story. Okay, unless you want to go as a business analyst, that's a different thing. But okay, so here, shipping and handling fee. Okay, this is something you have to put some title, small title, and then if it is long, you have to make it short and use this. And this is a project name. And this here, you can, if you're using some defects and you want to get some attention, so you want to use, let's say you open some production issue, so you want to use this production issue, so you want to get some attention because this should be get fixed, right? And if this is not getting fixed up, you are actually in the run, because you are the one who is responsible to coordinate with the developer and coordinate with them and fix this thing. So use this, or you can use critical issue. Okay, something like this, but really not required. So here I'll be using this, and okay, defect state. Okay, so this is the most important thing. Your defect. Okay, so here you can use it. It's open. So you have to make sure that it's in open status, not in submitted status. Okay, let's say you're working on current project, right? The task assigned for you is current. That means you're working the particular project, and okay, now you put this submitted. Okay, let's take an example here. So how important this thing is. Okay, this might be very small, and this is really not that important too. But how it can get you into trouble? Let's see here. You put submitted, and let's say this. If you put submitted, email doesn't go to the developer, and you didn't worry about it. You forgot about it. It's been 1 week, more than 1 week, 2 weeks, and defects didn't get fixed because your status still shows submitted, and you get a call from your boss. Hey, you know what? Can you stop by at my desk? No. Your boss says, "What's up with this defect?" Said, "Yeah, I know what I assigned to this. Developer is working on it, but so why is this in submitted status? Why not in open status?" Right? So now there is you don't know what to do. Say, right? You cannot say, "I forgot." No, I don't remember. So those kind of responses, really your boss doesn't like anything of that. So better be, assign this beforehand if you are working on the current project. Submitted status is only good, like somebody said right yesterday, you know what, I'll just open defect and leave it, let's see later, right? So that is good for that. We don't want to see, if you're working on 3 to 4 projects and one project is future project and you found some issue and want to, so you put it submitted, that's fine. But you're not going to, it has to be in open status always. Okay? And let's put it as in progress. And ready? So plan estimation, and this is normally filled by the developer, because they are, see, the owner of the defect is the developer, owner of the test case is a tester. Okay, now you're opening a defect, that means who is the owner? It's a developer. So if the developer is the owner, they have to see how much time does it take to fix this defect, because they have to look into a lot of code. Who is responsible for this? They have to first figure it out that. Okay, first figure what the issue is all about, right? What's the issue? Why it's showing? It might be backend, it might be some code, it might be some application, it might be some third-party tool too. It might go somewhere else. We don't know. So, but until and then, when the developer research it, they have to figure it out how much time will it take, and they will be putting here. Okay. So back to the description here. So all right. Okay, so when I'm trying to order in large quantity, shipping and handling fee showing as $5. Just giving this information doesn't help. Developer doesn't understand. Your boss doesn't understand, and this this is not good. So what you want to do is, okay. So you want to put a screenshot. Without screenshot, your defect is almost invalid. Okay, why? Because if developer doesn't understand what's going on, it never gets fixed, because you don't know what you're talking about. You know URL information, which project does it belongs to, which particular location, what application is. You see this? You don't have any information whatsoever. So developer doesn't know what's going on. So if you are using only thing, then you have to be really, really good at something, because this won't help. Means, this much information won't help you out. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to attach screenshot. So here we will attach this. Okay, good. Now this has some information, like so it has a lot of, okay, this is the URL. So now it's developer knows whose work does it belongs to. We'll see. And what's the issue you're talking about? You're talking about this. So that's good. There's a lot of information, and this will help you out to fast, make it quick, right? Because you don't want to play ping pong. No, developer comes back to you, you say something, again goes back, again you go to the developer, you say something, so you don't want all those things. Okay, why? Because your boss is monitoring you always. So make sure you understand that your boss is monitoring you, and they're looking at you what you're trying to do. So better be good for in this. Okay, to set up the screenshot and show them what exactly the issue is. Okay. So once you do that, now you have to fill up all this information here. Okay. So without filling out, it goes in the wrong place, and it's really not good. Okay. So which environment does it belong to? So remember I said like there are 3 types of environments, like in the first class, right? So dev environment, test environment, production environment. There can be multiple. Okay, it's not necessarily only 3, but 3 are major. They need to have these 3 things. But here you have dev environments test. So here we are working on test. So I hope you guys understand what the environment. Okay, if you don't know what's environment, then take it as server, different servers. You're working on different server. Okay, production server is different, developer server is different, test server is different. Although it can be dev and test might be in one server, but not necessary. Okay, it can be, but production is always different, and they don't mess up with production, so production server will be always different. So that's the environment. Okay. And okay, so we'll go to this priority and severity. Okay, so what is this priority and severity? So severity is, it's like, severity is like, what is the impact of bug, right? The amount of impact it is causing on the application. Let's say there's you open some bug which you are not able to proceed with your remaining test cases. Now, that's very important. So that's the impact. Okay, the severity. That's what it means by severity. The impact of bug. So there's options here. Let's take an example here. Cosmetic. Cosmetic is like, for example, there's a spelling mistake here, okay, or the color, this color, it's green, it's blue, you have to be in green, and all those things. Those comes under cosmetic issues, okay, and yeah, so those kind of things, header is different, footer is different, okay, those are cosmetic because that's not stopping you to do the other work, right? You can proceed, and this is very low priority, always goes with the lowest priority. We don't need this video. Okay. Okay, so that's the cosmetic. And okay, so next is minor problem. A minor problem is like, let's say this what we are opening here, you can say as minor problem, like shipping and handling. That is normal. It's a normal issue. Okay. So again, that's not really stopping you to do your other test cases or any work, right? You can still continue it. So that's okay. And there's something called major problem. Major problem is something which is, let's say there is somebody opened a defect, right? So that's good. Let's say there is something you want to access, and when you're clicking this, the page is, this is not able to navigate the next page. So this is a major problem, because let's say even if there are some URL which you need to write your test cases, let's say you've written your test cases, but you're not able to access that page, okay, because all your test cases now are blocked, okay, you cannot proceed with that. So that's called major problem, because all your test cases are blocked, you cannot proceed anything further, okay. The crash and data loss can also be similar, this both are similar a little bit. Crash and data loss, you can use it for production, any production issues, you want to use this crash and data loss, okay. That's the severity. And what's the priority? Priority is how soon the bug should be fixed. Okay. Now severity is more for a tester point of view. Priority is like you telling developer how soon it should be fixed. Okay. That means so there are options here: low, normal, high attention, resolve immediately. So this you are telling developer to do this. Okay. But if you are opening normally this severity goes it aligns with this priority. Okay, if it is cosmetic, it will be low priority. Now, if you are putting cosmetic and resolve immediately, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, why? Because developers will not work on this. If it's a cosmetic issue, there's nothing like that. Resolve immediately. There's no sense at all, and you can't do this. Okay, this is very important. Even if you do this, let's say even if you're they will change it immediately. Developer manager will immediately change it to low. You can't do this, okay? Cosmetic, you cannot expect to resolve it immediately. There is no reason here, okay? Again, minor problem, Okay, this is normal, so you want to go as a normal. And major problem, you want to say is high attention, okay, or resolve immediately. Okay, these kind of things you have to put is the data crash, is resolved immediately, comes in both. Okay, so you have to remember how are you assigning the severity and priority. Okay, again, severity is the impact of bug, how much is impacting, and this is a tester point of view. And priority is like you telling developer how soon it should be fixed. Okay, how soon the bug should be fixed. Okay, any questions in this? Any questions? Severity and priority, and this normally goes, it aligns with it. Okay, so here this is. Now this is taken as step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay, that means severity 1, severity 2, severity 3, severity 4. Okay, so that's how it goes. Okay, so now let's go to submitted by. Yeah, who is submitted? So you're the one who is opening the defects. Normally, this is the person who is submitted. Okay. So you see this, these are disabled here. Okay. So some of them is not required. Found and built. This is most probably is the work for developer. So developer has to figure it out. If not, you have to also see found and build. You can put it. Okay, if you know its build number, how do you know? You have to check with your lead coordination. Okay, you have to coordinate that. So which build you are working on? Fixing build, of course, this is not what you are going to do. This is a developer because you are not fixing any issue here. Okay, you are opening issue. So in which it should be fixed. Again, this should be filled by the developer. Now resolution. So now this resolution is provided by the developer. Now developers look into these issues. Okay. Now let's say you give it a wrong developer. Okay, you have opened this issue, but let's say this is a ETL issue because of this some shipping, right? That's an ETL. Let's take an example like ETL issue. But you thought it's a web and web application, so you give the wrong developer. So what the developer does is rejects this. Okay, so developer just reject is not a defect and put is not my problem. Okay, the simply reject is not my problem, and it takes a while for you to understand what you have open defect, but why is this? So later you have to, if you found out that you have assigned a wrong developer, okay, they will not say you which developer. If you are lucky, then that's good. Not everyone are lucky, so they will just reject it. Say not my problem. Okay, and that's true because you have assigned a wrong developer there. Okay, you're given a wrong developer and this guy rejects. So this is the resolution they will be putting on. Okay. Okay, then you have various option. If you are giving the right people, then you can change here. Okay, so they will be changing it. Is it architect issue, code change, a configuration, a database, a duplicate? They might reject it because it's duplicate. And if you are not using those screenshots, they will reject it outright. Say we need more information because they won't understand just by putting one-line statements here. Okay, so this you are putting when I'm type error. If you are using only this, doesn't help. So you get rejected or need more information. Okay, so you don't want to get this kind of thing. Okay, this is not good. Okay, so these are the limitations here. So this is provided by developer. Okay. Target date. Oh, we know the target date. It's 26. Now before 26, this should be released. And okay, release notes. If you have any release notes, okay. So it's not really for you, it's for the developer actually. They have to, if they are fixing this bug, they will put the release notes, like what bugs they fixed it and what were the dependencies bug. If there was bug which was fixed, but it caused more bugs because of that. They have to put in this release notes and what are the other bugs are fixed and what the patch they are installed. So all this, right, it can be put in the release notes. So we don't really do in release notes, okay? And affects documentation. So let's say you have open defect which affects documentation. That means document doesn't provide enough information, or sometimes document stuff is wrong because BA might have done some mistake. Okay, so in that case you want to put yes or no. That means you have seen the documents. The document doesn't have enough information. Okay, and you want to put as affect documentation too. Okay, again just put no. So you don't have to worry about Salesforce case ID unless you are working on some CRM. If you are working on Salesforce CRM, then you want to use this, but otherwise it's really not required. So admin actually has to, so normally it should not be there if you are not using it. If you are using it, of course, sometimes it gets, some of the cases it gets automatic generated if you are working on Salesforce, but it's, this is not really required. Okay. So next is, you can add more files if you want. Like let's say you want to drag and drop, you can use this. And notes. You want to write some notes, like or developer writes a notes, saying that this defect is old defect. We know the problem, we are fixing it. All those things. Anything what is developer writes, or you can write saying that this was occurred in this. This is the build number, this is what it is happening, and this is in the test environment too. Okay, so all those things you can write it notes if it's required. Okay, and then if you have this, so who is the owner of the defects? Developer is the owner. So you just put the owner and link your test cases. Okay, so now here I'm linking my test cases. So there will be plenty of test cases. So which defect does this belongs to which test case is very important. So I know here I'm doing functional testing, so I'll just link this, and that's good. I'll just link my test case. Here, user story is automatically linked, so you don't have to worry about it, but you can change the here also. Tags, if you want tag is just use this tag. Okay, and once you have done that, create. So this is not accepting. Okay, good. So click on done. This is how you create a defect in Rally. Does it make sense? Any questions so far? Okay. After creating the test case, so normally if you are creating test case, you are the one who is responsible for this. Okay. If you are creating a test case, you are the one. So no one else is supposed to change your test cases. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Although okay, so although many testers, okay, many other testers might be you will be working with this. They are own responsible for their own test case. No one is supposed to change your test case. Okay. So if someone may change the status of defect, okay. So if you have opened the defect, you are the person who has to be responsible to change it. No one else will be doing it. Okay. Even if somebody does, you can view it. Okay, so let's go to that. Even if somebody did that, you want to see this, right? So go to the revision. Is it revision? See here. Okay, great. So here you can see this, the username, right? It's will be shown here, and see who is changing your information. Here it's only one, but normally you'll be having plenty of users will be working on. Okay, so here right itself here, you'll be looking into it, who actually changed what. Does that make sense? Okay, but normally, the person who is responsible for the defect, you are the one, so you have to change it from submitted to open, and developer will change to fix, and from fix to close, or again reopen, you can reopen. So you are the one who will be coordinating, not someone else. If somebody did that, that's not good. So you have to track here. You can see here in the revision and see why they did it, and mostly it will be lead. Even if they are doing, it will be your lead will be doing it to correct your mistakes. If it's wrong, you have to correct it, right? So your lead will be doing mostly. Other than that, no one will be doing. Okay. So let's go back to homework. Somebody here, test case. Okay. So this is the one. Okay. So somebody has written this test case. Okay. They have created their own user story. That is, but I already told now to use 182. So this is not the user story. Now, if you have created in another story, there is an option, okay, to change the location for this, for your test case. Let's say you have created a test case, right? Okay, use this one, and now, okay, now here I'm showing you how to move your test case to particular location. Okay, now we go to edit. Okay, and here you see this work product. The work product is wrong. Okay, it's not supposed to be US 177 because it's, I already told it, it should be 182. Okay, this is the correct user story. So what you want to do is go ahead and click on this magnifying glass. Okay, go ahead and click on this magnifying glass, and once you do this, okay, here you have this option, get this choose work product, and want to use US 182. 182? No, 182. Okay, and find for search. Okay, great. You see this option, so this is the correct user story, and you click on choose. Now this is the right thing to do when you have written in somewhere else. And what you want to do is save and close. Okay, now if you see this, go back to my user story. That is 182, and now I see this, the test case here. See this? Now I see that you have written test case. Does it make sense? So, okay, that's what you have to do if you have written in the wrong place. Okay. Okay, at least one guy has written, I mean, there's like 10 people and not only one test case. Okay, so that's fine. So I'm not worried about how people are doing homework. Okay, what to worry is how you do it at your work. Okay, that's more important. I'm really not worried how many people have written. I don't care technically, because I'm not doing the job. You guys will be doing the job. So, you have to be very careful when you're performing this. Okay, so even this test case is completed. This is not executed. I'm showing you right how to execute it. So when you execute it, it should be this plus icon. Okay, so okay, so either way, you will be having this access to this rally, so you can perform anytime you want. Okay, okay, so you can use it and you can learn from this and see if it makes sense for you. Any more questions? That's a very good question. So somebody asked, right, will we be using only Rally or any other tools? Okay, so that's a good question. So I'm not sure. Here's the thing. Here, you are using Rally for your understanding. Okay, but when you're working at place, okay, it's not necessary you'll be using Rally. There are pretty wide range of tools. Okay, there is a Jira. Okay, there's Jira that's from Atlassian. There's a Rally from CA Technologies. There's a TFS, Team Foundation Server from Microsoft. Okay, and there is a Zephyr. So there are plenty of tools. Okay, so at work, nobody knows which tool you'll be getting. Okay, so my whole point of this class is not to get addicted with the tool. Now you can say, no, Manu only told me, Rally, I don't know, Zephyr, I don't know how to use it, I don't know IBM ClearQuest, okay. I know you cannot say that because what I'm trying to say here, the process remains same. Okay, what's the process? Creating the test cases, executing the test cases, opening defects, assigning defects to the developers. All this remains same. The user interface will be different. Okay, so if you know Rally, that's good. Okay, you can correlate with the other tools and perform the same work. Okay, so here I'll be going through a lot of tools. Here Rally will also go to HPLM and Jira. So Jira I'll be giving you access to, even that one. Okay, but my point is to don't get addicted to this only tool. No, I know only Rally. No, I don't know anything else. I can't do that. Okay, because all these will be similar, not same, similar. That means all the functionalities will be there in any other tool, but thing is the process remains same. Okay, creating test cases you'll be doing here. You're using this Rally, you might use HPLM. Okay, opening defects, same thing you can do there. Okay, different interface, different functionalities, but the process is same. That's the thing. Okay. Any other question? Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so I'll be giving you homework. Okay, you guys have to do homework. Okay, and make sure if you have I've shown you already. If you have done somewhere else, make sure move it. Okay, move. So I'll show you how to move this. Right, you can move wherever you have wherever in this whole Rally you have created, doesn't matter. Okay, you can move your particular test case or defect or to particular location. So you have that option. It's not like you have done it or you have to delete it. No, you can just move it from one location to another anywhere in this Rally. Okay. Okay. So okay. So let's go to the report section. So this is a little bit advanced. This is for a senior QA. Okay, senior QA or okay, our lead perspective. Okay, so whoever. So let's say that you want to generate some reports here. Okay, so there are plenty of reports. So these are more into agile perspective. Okay, so since everyone is trying to move into agile, so this will be more into agile, perspective. So let's see here. See, I want to see. So actually, this is supposed to. So here it doesn't work. Let's see. This will be the only one which is working. So here, when you click on this, so this report is generated for you. See here. Okay. So this shows how many defects you have opened in this, how much period of time. Okay. What happens, right? Let's say your boss says, "Give me this report." Okay. Although they might be having access or something else, they'll say, "Okay, give this report to me. I want this by end of today." Now, what you want to do is get this report, okay, see which report list does it belongs to. Okay, there's a plenty of reports here. Iteration burn down, iteration burn up, velocity, so all those things this is good. All this rally have done it for you. Okay, and okay, so let's take an example here as defects priority. Okay, now your boss wants this one and see which one, and what you want to do is go to page 2 and email. See this email? Go to the email and go to email. Okay. So let's say your boss email ID, and you want to put it. You want to add CC? You can add CC. Okay. And if you want to attach it, so we'll just put it as embedded, embedded in email. And if you want to include is recipient and dot, and click on it. Oh. Let's see. This has become bug lately. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so this is how you can send an email. Now you get an email, and this will be attached in the email, and you'll be getting it. So hopefully, okay, good. So here you go. Okay, you get this email like this, and this is how, if you want to send reports, you can send it. Okay. So any reports, so these are called project level reports. Okay, so these are more of a project level reports. And let's say your boss told you something which you don't know, and I said reports to, which is not exist here, okay, which doesn't exist. So you can add your own report. Okay, custom report. So you can create your own reports. Okay, let's say how do you want to classify your data? Let's say you want to use how much work is completed. It's a count of work, and also you want to add some other information here. And how do you want to break it down? You got its priority, state, okay, and you want to use more, and then add some filters. If you have any filters, and run this. You can get a custom report. So that means this doesn't exist wherever, what the reports here are. Okay, this is custom. Okay, so these are the project level report. And let's say if you are a QA lead, okay, and you, apart from doing all this testing, you also need to see these who are doing what, right? So your lead also manages some part of, the team. Okay, there's 3 to 4 people. So what they do is they will send the report to the boss. So these are more like performance level report. So what they do is so let's see here a different project. Okay, good. So let's say these are the 4 test cases, and what your lead will be doing is use this action print report. See this, and we'll just leave this as default, and this is the report is generated, and we go to print. So if you are using Google Chrome, okay, so this is a good thing, it just generates a PDF for you, and so this is something which you cannot email, so you have to save it, test case, and save it. Okay, so this is all the information your boss will get. I mean, it's really not required. Okay, so but other case, because your boss will be having access to this rally, they will be looking to it, what test cases you're writing, what you're trying to do, so all will be already known. But this is just an example. If you have to prepare a report, this is how you can prepare. And once you have done that, so everything attachment is also there. You see this? This is an attachment. Oops. Okay, you see test run docs, and you can download right from here. And you can see a lot of things, and you just open the emails into the this report. So this is like performance report. Okay, and these are mostly what are test cases and defects. So you also have this option. So let's go. This was it for test case. For defects, okay. So for defects, what you have this option is you can export to CSV. Okay, you can export it here. So CSV is comma separated value, and it opens in Excel. So let's open this. Okay, so this is how you can track the defect offline. So this is offline method. If you don't want to use this rally, sometimes you may have access, might not have access. In that case, you want to use this offline method, and you want to update this for your to the Scrum Master or your boss. You can do this. And let's say if some defect is fixed, you want to use this Excel, and you want to use this, and click on this. Shut to. So this is what you can use it. Okay, let's say that defect is fixed. You want to strike there, and these 2 defects are remaining here, and you can send this to the particular person who is responsible. So this is one way of tracking your defects offline. Any questions so far? So anyone who has written homework in a different user story have created their own, just move this, okay? Just move your test case, this I shown you, right? You can move your test case into this 182, user story 182. Okay, so here it's just one user story. In real time, you might be using more than one. So make sure you have to write it offline or someplace and make sure you're tracking it, because if you cannot create a user story for yourself, because unless you're going as a BA. Okay, if you're going BA, that's a different work altogether. But you cannot create user story for yourself. And as a matter of fact, even I told that, right? See here. You see this? No one has to create any user story in this homework. So you guys are not following this. Okay, you have to go through the instructions before doing any homework. It's very important. So here at least, you have instructions. At work, they're not, giving you any instructions. So you have to be very careful. So people who were not able to, so I'll be giving you homework, okay, for the defects too, and the people who are not, didn't get a chance or who are not able to do it, have this different homework that will be giving you hopefully by tomorrow, or yeah, by tomorrow. So Monday is a holiday, right? So Monday we don't have. So it will be due on 28th mostly. So we'll see how this works. So any questions in this? So you have access to this. You can use it and see if it makes any sense for you. You can create some test cases. You can try to execute it and see if it's work for you. So most probably you will be, see, here's the thing, mostly you will be using some kind of tool or something. Okay, you cannot use, okay, even if you're not using any tool at work, you still have to use this Excel, right? For test cases or something, for even if you're creating test cases, you cannot create test cases in the air, right? You have to create some place. So here we are using tool, that's good. The work you will be using a tool, of course. But let's say they are not using tool, okay, that might be a small company, that's okay, and they'll be using Excel. You can do in the Excel too, okay? So mostly, most of the project they will be having some test management tool, because there are a lot more open source tools. There's so many open source tools, so even company cannot afford any test management tool, they still afford open source tools, right? So they don't have to pay anything for that. So um, if they are not using it and they are using in Excel, then you have to recommend them, saying that, hey, you know what, there are a lot of open source tools. Why don't we use some of the open source tools? Why in the Excel? Because this becomes clogged. Nobody have access to this. And people who are sharing across the teams have some problems. So in that case, you can recommend the company itself. Okay, so that can also be an option. So okay, so no questions. Can we close this class for today? Okay, thank you guys.